you know, and
What kind of story?
it was a different kind of storm, that's all. But I mean, in the end, it all washed off. And when it was all done, that's why it wasn't a firestorm. In a firestorm, you get burned, and really, when it done, didn't feel burned. I felt
It's not September yet.
cleansed. It's not September. All right. Is there further discussion?
I feel a little uncomfortable with kind of going back to what you said. So like, there seems to be a perception of a lack of transparency. And I feel like we're kind of stepping into the same puddle again. I don't know what the answer is. I know I'm new to the board and I don't have the experience you guys have. There's just something about it that feels like it could be misconstrued as a backroom deal with not a lot of transparency. And is that, is it the argument that protects us is the fact that people are not getting involved with the neighborhood? I mean, is it the same kind of situation?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I think that we give the planning committee the right to really do this all the time with these types of things. And when you guys go to the residents' homes, you look, you negotiate, you try to work out, find something we can all live with, and then you bring it to us and we say, okay, yes, we approve it because we trust your judgment. And I think we're being very transparent with this. We've had a meeting tonight, we're talking about it, there's been multiple meetings the planning committees had, they talked about it. Other people have spent time reviewing it, so while it hasn't been blasted maybe on The Voice or something, I think the process has been there, and we're just really taking an extra step here to say, okay, we're going to allow them to go back and negotiate and just make sure we're all in the loop, we all know what's happening, and they'll come back to us before doing something crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we need an article or anything like that on it before we do this kind of thing. That's just my
Feels a little, feels a little early to me too. I mean,
I don't know.
I do
This
think
is
that
my
the project is
experience.
significant enough to where we will need to get the neighborhood informed to keep,
Right, we're not
to
talking
avoid
about
transparency.
No, I just don't want it to get to the point where they're like, okay, you can have, a plate of dirt, or you can have a plate of mud. Where they feel like they've
preventing
got.
us from doing that or from publicizing this.
Okay. Then I'm okay with it. I just don't want to go back to that situation where the perception is, we're doing all this, blah, blah, blah. But if this is.
You're doing your job. That is your job, to
Yes.
do all that stuff.
Right, but as long as it's very transparent to the people who come in on the back end and then start finding issues.
So, just to be careful of that, this is exactly what we're wrestling with. It's why we instantly went to the neighbors, instantly, to let them know. We've told everybody everything we know. But in my opinion, you can't even negotiate successfully an issue like this with 6 people, much less.
Oh, God, yeah.
Much less.
Oh, I didn't say you were going to get consensus.
No. I'm just saying we're trying to get this to a position where we can say here's what we need to look at, and here's why we think that this is a plausible argument to go for it. If there's logical arguments against it, they'll influence the hell out of us. I do think the lead in this will be the people right around that community. I mean, they are the ones who are we're all going to catch some impacts, but they're the ones who are going to catch it 24/7, particularly in the shadow of the building. So we're trying to be very careful and not leaving Daniel out there to fight his own battle. This has been tricky.
Yeah.
This is why it's taken this long to get here to this discussion in the open. And we haven't read the article, not just because I feel like it was going to generate, John and I, we've talked about this many times about when does the article get written, and I will tell you that the others that are peripherally involved in this, and I don't mean the developers that are watching this, have been grateful that the discussion hasn't hit the silliness stage yet. It will, that's okay, that's fine. I mean, that's what it'll be, but anyway, I feel your pain.
Thanks. If it makes you feel, there's a significant difference between this issue and the master plan.
Yeah.
The master plan for 6 months, we wanted everybody to give us their opinion,
Oh, yes.
everybody. We're caught between a rock and a hard place. We may be negotiating, and nothing may come.
Right, yes.
You can't come out and say, this is what we're doing. Because then you start getting people screaming at you, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
We really are caught here.
No, I see that.
But we don't run the risk, not quite well, but not quite as much as we have with our master plan.
And maybe it's just a matter of communicating, once we get to that point, communicating with Field of the options that we had, this was the better one.
Well, that, I think, would require that if we do have any successful negotiations, that the planning committee not come before the board and say, this is what we negotiated, like we approve it. Planning committee comes back before it's passed, and whatever input we want to seek, either from the people right behind or whatever, then we can talk about it. But at least let's not have the board fully say, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
And then, so that will help allay. We're going to get people,
Oh,
not for one, obviously complaining, but this is the way you're going to.
Yeah, but I appreciate that.
So
Thank you.
we beat this to death.
I think we have. I mean,
The motion passed.
the simplest thing for this board is just say hello. I don't think that's good in any respect.
So we have a motion, we have a second, we have
Further
discussion.
comment? All those in favor, please raise your hand. And anyone opposed? All right. Thank you very much. Is there any last planning issue that we need to talk about? I pray there's not. We'll all wait another month. There's a few other things that by comparison seem trivial.
No, you're not allowed to do more planning stuff. What's the next thing?
Is there, the planning committee meetings have gone on for hours, I can tell you that. Is there anything else that needs calendar? I do think we need to set our annual meeting and do that, and I'm suggesting,
I think one of the Jewish holidays.
yes.
Oh, that's a very good point.
We've already looked at that. I want to be clear, we look at the holidays every year. We just miss.
We just want to be really clear.
Let me be here.
We'll just double check.
It's a damn. We'll go there another way. It's a called Pat. All right, let's just not.
We'll just double check.
We already have Jenny looking into a date.
But don't we want Thursday?
Our planning meeting would be Wednesday, September 3rd.
Yeah, but we're usually done it like
September
19th.
8th would be our regular board meeting.
Right,
And
and
then
we
would
either do it the 12th, right after that, which is the weekend after Labor Day, right? So when is Labor Day? I'm sorry, when is Labor Day? The first.
First Monday.
See lots of phones out.
So September 1st then, is Labor Day September 1st? Yeah, because that's Monday. Yep,
So then we
that's
can either do it
Thursday night.
the Thursday night. We've traditionally done it.
So that's
we either
the
do it
11th
The 11th or the 18th.
Which one?
The 18th is after the NPU meeting.
I'm sorry?
The 18th is after the NPU.
No, we do our business meeting. We'll have our regular Monday business meeting
On the 8th.
on the 8th, which is,
Okay.
keep that on your calendar. We do variances, that's just done, because we're not doing them at the VHCA meeting no matter what. So that won't change. That's not a factor in it. So it's just a question of whether we want to do it on the 18th or the 11th. And I'm personally like the 18th better, I think, because we've done it traditionally further in. I'd rather.
And that's the one Jenny's looking into. If that makes it, unless somebody has an issue with it, I think the 18th would be.
And Rosh Hashanah comes after that, I believe you may be.
Yes,
Rosh
Rosh Hashanah is the 24th.
We looked, thank you for the reminder, we looked at that. So, not even close.
October 1st.
Okay, so can we set it, we're gonna have it on the 18th then? All right, is that okay with
Is that
everyone?
good with everyone?
All right. All right, is there any other business that we need to?
I'm out of town, but
So what can we vote you in to do while you're not?
Yes.
What can we vote, elect you to do?
I'm not sure.
We don't tell him before we do it.
Is there any other business to come before us here? It's 9:10, I'll watch and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
No, Reader asked me about that, I'm gonna follow up with